Join us for a tour of the all-new Porsche 911 GT3. Let's go! Well, before we talk about lightweight building and performance, the most important thing for today, of course, the color. It's called Shark Blue and definitely would be my pick. Of course, there are other colors available, but this one really strong and really screams out racing. Then a special front hood here, also with some aerodynamic openings for the airflow. And this is also from CFRP. That's quite rare, definitely, and very thin that it even complies with pedestrian safety. Because this is still street legal. So the car that comes closer to the racetrack but is still street legal. Then LED is standard, also with the 4-dot design for the daytime running lights. The length of the new 911 generation is 4 meters 52, 14'8" or 178 inches. Also counts here for the GT3, maybe a little bit longer because of the overhangs. But what's more important here, mixed wheels, so 20-inch in the front, 21-inch in the rear, the maximum that is possible for this vehicle. Optionally, you can also get the carbon ceramic brakes. You can also see them right here. And in this case, usually they come standard with yellow brake calipers, but here also in black, because that fits, that's just more fitting to the overall styling combination. Here also really cool, these wheels are also with the blue contrast fitting to the exterior color. That's just awesome. Big side spoiler here as well, and of course the known shoulders here. Everything is wrapped tightly. That's the design scheme of the 911, and you got weight savings if you compare, for example, to other powerful 911 versions of at least or a little bit more than 200 kilograms or more than 400 pounds. And with the sport exhaust, for example, that is lighter. The hood talked about, a lot of carbon fiber use, even where you can't see it. And also the windows here, they are really slim and also lightweight. So they saved some kilos here, some there, and it all adds up. And there's also one reason why this car is the fastest 911 on the racetrack from works, although it's not the quickest one in the acceleration. And another technology highlight, in this case not exclusive to the GT3, in general worth to mention it. You have the rear axis steering as standard equipment, and it goes 2 degrees in the opposite side then, or opposite direction of the front wheels for even more agility, especially at lower speeds. Well, to the rear of the vehicle, the light strip here goes all around from left to right. That's a really impressive feature. And look, the small, not only design elements, but everything on this vehicle really has a function, what you see. And of course, the huge rear wing. You can also adjust it yourself manually, just with household, tools and so on. So it's not too complicated. And in the lower part, then this special sports exhaust, lightweight as well, and also with this massive diffuser style. So yeah, the most impressive rear we have seen in this 992 generation of the 911. And as for the power figures, so this one here with the 4-liter naturally aspirated 6-cylinder, 510 horsepower, naturally aspirated. Yeah, it has less performance than the turbo models, definitely, but Wraith enthusiasts just want this linear feeling. Also, of course, a different exhaust note. So this had to be then still the naturally aspirated engine. All fans wanted to have that. And the acceleration figure is 3.4 seconds to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. And top speed is 320 kilometers an hour or 200 miles per hour. Yeah, where can you reach that? For example, on the Nürburgring Nordschleife, or at least close to that. And the lap time, actually, official lap time is less than 7 minutes. And this is, of course, super impressive and super rare for a naturally aspirated engine. And also then quicker than the turbo models on the racetrack. Again, it's not always about the acceleration figure, but of course, about the lightweight building style and about the precision on the racetrack and the, how predictable the vehicle is. And this is definitely the most predictable ones then, as for the double wishbone setup and so on. So race drivers would always go for this one. GT3 entry badge right there, and a microfiber steering wheel for the racetrack to have the best grip with and without gloves. These are also the optional bucket seats, so they cage you in even more for the racetrack, hold you really tight, also lightweight carbon fiber use, and they're also here then available in the microfiber, which is of course the best racing material because it's sticky, it keeps you tight also on the racetrack then. And let's take a seat. This is the only disadvantage, and getting in and out is a little bit harder. And they're also relatively stiff. So, I mean, this is not the car you would buy for the best long-term comfort for sure. But on the racetrack, you just actually then, on the racetrack it's cozier because you don't slide around that much surface. And also here, they really keep you tight. Steering wheel, manual control, of course, they try to save as many electric motors as possible, again, for all the lightweight building purposes. This one here is a PDK car. You see here also the shifting pedals at the steering wheel. And very interesting here, look at this shifting lever. It looks like a manual, but it's a PDK shifting lever, so not this small brown shaver like they have in the 911 in the new one, but here let's say a proper shifting lever. But you can still get this car also with a 6-speed manual for the real enthusiasts on the racetrack. 2x7 inch, left and right for the screens, and the middle part then the analog RPM meter. Cool to have that one. And they also put a special so-called track screen in here because the right and left side could be maybe distracting, too much information. Also with the GPS, or for example, here you see the steering wheel blocks a part of it, and so they came up with a so-called track screen. And here you can also activate it, press to show, and there we go. And this is a reduced view, more centralized. The right part is then left out, and you have just the racing information here with temperature and the pressure and so on, and everything more focused than on the central part. And 10.9 inch here for the central infotainment screen. That's the same here also for the 911 GT3. The menu structure is actually quite easy, also with a nice visualization here for the GPS map. And phone either via Bluetooth or Apple CarPlay. Android Auto is not available for the Porsches, but the Apple CarPlay will do the job. And here, if you have the drive modes, you can select it here, but there are also some hotkeys. For example, you can select the steering wheel, and then you can also see that they change right here. And the exhaust note, you can also activate that. And then you also have some hotkeys in the lower area where you can, for example, change the stiffness right here. So climate unit, you can control it here for the air distribution. There you do have to do that. And that the temperature is controlled in the lower part, or AC on and off. So overall, you can live with that system. They went for the very same one from a normal 911, so you have the modern infotainment system also for the race vehicle. And what will also be exclusive here for the GT3 is some kind of a shifting indicator. So left and right, you cannot see it at the moment. Left and right from the RPM meter, there will be like LEDs, let's say, rising to the top and indicating when to shift. And when it's the moment to shift, there will be like a flash So you don't even have to look at it, just look ahead on the racetrack and you will notice a flash, and this will then be a signal when you have to shift. By the way, the chronometer here, sports chrono pack, is in this case then with a titanium housing. And now to our conclusion for today with the new Porsche 911 GT3. Well, I mean, it's really screaming out sportiness, especially in this shark blue color. That's also the one, of course, I would really go for, especially with these fitting wheels. So indeed, this is a race machine, and they put everything online, what is actually wanted by the enthusiast. Naturally aspirated engine, also a manual possibility, manual shifting possibility. Exterior-wise, definitely, the sportiest 911 out there, and also driving-wise, definitely also faster than a 911 Turbo S on the racetrack, although it is actually less quick in the acceleration, but it's not everything on the racetrack, of course. The interior then also possible here with the bucket seats, with the microfiber surface, also ready to race next to the steering wheel. So everything also driver focused, no compromise. As it stands here right now, pricing starts at about 160,000 euros. This a little bit more, of course, with the optional brakes and the bucket seats and so on. So, of course, quite expensive, even for a 911, but less expensive than a 911 Turbo S. So, if this one might be your racy pick, tell us in the comments, and also join us for some other reviews of the 911 with the 911 Turbo S, of course. They will also be linked in the video description. So, what do you think here about the new GT3? Leave us your comments. See you next time.